Obviously not the start to the week we were looking for with Monday's Power 5, but we're still on a 213, 180, and 12 long-term run here on the show, including 30, 18, and 1 the last 10 days. We still have a chance to cash our teaser bet from yesterday's show as the first leg with Miami came through. Also, not only did I give out the Spurs over the Kings as a free winner in NBA yesterday, what a blowout that ended up being, but a big thank you to all of you who joined me for my first 4% NBA best bet of the season yesterday at WagerTalk.com. That's on the Bulls, plus 8 cover, basically wire to wire, against the undefeated Cavaliers. On today's show, I'll be talking about two things: MACtion, near and dear to my heart, and the Champions Classic in college basketball. As a reminder, you can always comment down below and share your thoughts on these selections. So here we go. I'm going to hit all 3 MAC games for Tuesday, of course. If you're new to the program, I am a proud graduate of Ohio University, and I'm probably one of the 7 or 8 most famous graduates in Mid-American Conference history. All right, Central Michigan, Toledo, under 51.5 is our first play. Shop around. You might even be able to find a 52 out there, but we'll grade this at 51.5. As many of you know, Toledo, they're one of the stalwarts in the Mid-American Conference. A winning record, 8 of the last 9 seasons under head coach Jason Candle. But in my opinion, guys, this year's edition of the Rockets is just not as good as usual. Both conference losses were by double digits. Couple fortunate wins. One over Northern Illinois, who happened to be playing with a backup quarterback and still gained over 400 total yards against this Toledo defense. Then last time out, Toledo needed to stop a 2-point attempt by Eastern Michigan on the final play for a 29-28 victory. The Rockets' offense ranks near the bottom of the country, not just the conference, but the entire country, in rush EPA. So I'd really like to back the dog here, but Central Michigan, they've lost 4 in a row, and they don't score much. Just 20 points total in the last 2 games. The strength of the Chippewas' offense is running the football, but Toledo is a pretty stout run defense. I know I just mentioned they gave up a lot of yards to Northern Illinois a few weeks ago, but I think it's going to be tough sledding for a Central Michigan offense that just quite frankly isn't very good. Let's take a look at the series history for a moment. I think it's pretty eye-opening. The last 5 meetings between Central Michigan and Toledo have all stayed under. So have 8 of the last 9 meetings. I see that trend continuing. Remember, last week on the Power 5, we were spot on with all 3 of our under calls in midweek action. The total for this game has been bet up. I just don't agree with it. So it's under 51.5 for me. That's where I bet it. Number 2, Bowling Green, -8 versus Western Michigan. Big game here, as these two teams are part of a current 4-way tie for first in the MAC last week. I came on this program. I also went on Wager Talk today, and I said, fade the fraudulent Western Michigan Broncos. What happened? They suffer their first loss in conference play of the season, 42-28 against Northern Illinois. There was over the second and third quarters of that game, Western Michigan allowed 6 touchdowns. 1 was a kickoff return, and their league-leading offense just could not keep pace. Now, Western Michigan, they're facing what I feel this week is the best team in the MAC, Bowling Green. Falcons, don't be fooled by the ATS record, guys. I know they're 1-5 against the number of the last 6 games, but we only have to lay single digits at home with them here, and that's pretty rare where that situation has. The odds makers usually don't price them this low. I know the Falcons did lose outright as 3.5-point home favorites to Northern Illinois last month, but that's with an asterisk. They were down to their 3rd-string quarterback by the end of that game. Starter Connor Bazelak is back now, and I don't think Bowling Green is going to have any trouble scoring against a Western Michigan defense that's already allowed 41 or more points in 3 of its 5 MAC games. Ouch. Falcons have won 3 straight overall coming into Tuesday. They led Central Michigan wire to wire last week. There was a late Central Michigan touchdown that made the final score closer than it should have been. Bowling Green beat Western Michigan last year 34-10 in Kalamazoo. And Western Michigan's 4 wins. I said this last week. I'm going to say it again here. They were against Akron, Ball State, Buffalo, and Kent State, the worst 4 teams in the conference. Lay it with BG. All right, 3rd and final play in the MAC for Tuesday. I like Ball State +5 at Buffalo. Buffalo's been extremely lucky this year, guys. Top 10 in my luck ratings. Their 2 biggest wins have come when they were off a bye. That was at home against Toledo and against Northern Illinois in overtime. But both those games saw them get outgained. They were outgained tremendously by Northern Illinois, in fact, 359-184. And the Bulls were even outgained 2 Saturdays ago by Akron, 452 to 390. That was another fortunate win. Buffalo's +4 in turnover margin in that one. They stopped the Zips 3 times on 4th down. So I'm not buying it with Buffalo. I certainly would not want to lay the points with them. This is a team that rarely is asked to lay this many points. I know Ball State's defensive numbers are poor, but that's skewed by the fact they faced Miami and James Madison in the non-conference portion of the schedule. They gave up a ton of points in those games. More recently, the Cardinals have covered the spread against Vanderbilt. Okay? Obviously, Vanderbilt's hung with the big boys in the SEC for the most part. And 6 times this season, a Ball State game has been decided by single digits. Last week, they only lost by 6 to a good Miami of Ohio team. That game was tied entering the fourth quarter. Ball State has had Buffalo's number through the years, going 9-2 straight up, 7-4 against the spread the past 11 meetings. So again, I would advise you to take the points here. Now, before we move to college basketball for the 2 Champions Classic games, I do read the comment section here. Please comment down below, of course, with your thoughts on any of the plays I've given out already. But last week, I saw many of you that are also clients of mine at WagerTalk.com comment, hey, BP, since you know the Mac so well, how about just holding 1 or 2 of these back for us? Tomorrow, I should have a client-only release on one of the 3 Wednesday Mac games. Be on the lookout for that. Also, stay tuned. End of the show, I'm going to talk about a college football play all of you can get for just $5. But now, we move to college hoops. The Champions Classic, as per usual, has 2 games involving 4 of the blue bloods of the sport, both taking place in Atlanta tonight. Watch out for Mark Zinno, everybody. Michigan State, pardon me, not Mark Zinno +6. Michigan State +6 versus Kansas. I would take the dog here. This one's tipping 6:30 Eastern. I know Michigan State hasn't been tested yet, but I watched all of their 96-60 win over Niagara last Thursday, if you're wondering why. My father-in-law was over. He's a Michigan State grad. I was really impressed with how Sparty pulled away in the second half of that game. I know it's Niagara, but still, it was a great second half effort from Tom Izzo's team. And situationally, I just like the setup for Sparty here. They've had an extra day to prepare. Kansas had to hold off North Carolina on Friday. I know Jayhawks backers are going to cry foul about that one. Their team was up 20 in the first half, only to then fall behind. KU actually needed to score the game's final 5 points for a 92-89 victory. But a few things to note here. One is that while Michigan State may currently be unranked by the pollsters, I've got them power rated as a top 17 team in the country. So I'm higher on this team than the market. Secondly, underdogs in these Champions Classic games have gone 12-5 ATS all time with 8 outright upsets. It's early in the season, guys. Odds makers don't necessarily have these teams priced right. When you're dealing with quality teams, taking the points is often the way to go. My third and final point here for Michigan State, Kansas. Is this a triple revenge spot for Izzo? He's lost 3 straight times to Kansas. Give me the points. On that note, also give me the +6 with Kentucky against Duke in the second game. These are 2 ranked teams, Kentucky number 19, Duke number 6. I'm pretty much in line with those rankings. I know Ken Palm a little lower on UK, but that's okay. I think Mark Pope's run-and-gun offense is going to give Duke some trouble here. Wildcats playing at a top 20 pace. That should continue the rest of the season. They're going to give up points. There's no doubt about it. Duke's going to get the Cooper flag and the Blue Devils. They're going to put up a lot of points here. However, I think Kentucky's going to score enough to stay within this number. Again, just to reiterate, underdogs in the Champions Classic. Last 9 years, 12-5 ATS with 8 outright upsets. Give me Kentucky +6. Let us now recap the Power 5 for Tuesday. MACtion and college basketball. Number 1, Central Michigan Toledo under 51.5. Number 2, Bowling Green -8 versus Western Michigan. Number 3, Ball State +5 at Buffalo. Number 4, Michigan State +6 versus Kansas. Number 5, Kentucky +6 versus Duke. Again, if you already haven't done so, go ahead, comment down below with your thoughts on those selections. Any questions you may have about Tuesday's card. If you're looking for NBA talk, you see I'm wearing this Boston Celtics hoodie today. I'll be talking the Emirates Cup with Zinno on the Morning Wager. I'm also going to be on the NBA show later today with Joe Ranieri here on Wager Talk TV. I'll also be on Wager Talk today with Prez and Steve Merrill at noon Eastern talking some more college football. So busy day for yours truly. Regardless, down in the comment section below, let me know what you are betting on tonight. I always enjoy reading that. And after you smash that like button, do it now. Head on over to WT.buzz/BP. where for $5, you can get a 4% best bet for Saturday in college football from yours truly. In case you hadn't heard, I'm number 1 in college football this season at WagerTalk. I'm also number 1 the last 365 days in college football. 50 and 23, my last 73 selections. That's plus 89.5 units of profit. I just went 5-1 last week in CFB, including best bets on Rutgers, plus 6.5. They won outright. And Utah, plus 2.5 in the first half against BYU. They led outright. Oh, by the way, CFB plays rated 4% or higher. Those are on an 11-2 run of the last several weeks. Rutgers was the $5 best bet last week. The week before, the $5 play, it was SMU who annihilated Pitt. I've cashed the $5 play 4 of the last 5 weeks. So again, WT.Buzz/BP, one play for Saturday, just $5 today only. This deal expires at midnight Pacific time. Also, if you want to lock in long term, got a very special deal for you. Head on over to my page. Again, that's WT.Buzz/BP, and you can get the rest of the college football season. That's all of my picks from now through the national championship game for just $229. What a deal that'll be. That's going to do it for Monday's edition of the Power 5. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. And until next time, guys, let's cash some tickets.